I'd like to welcome everybody to Speaking with Kate. These meditations, I purchased many different programs that featured Bert Goldman, and this was years ago. So I don't really remember. I think Bert was doing it on his own. He has since passed away, but he is an amazing teacher of meditation. He worked with Silva Mind, and he was one of their best teachers. Then his work was on a couple of other sites, but I found 3 different sites where you could purchase some of his information, but you can find much of it on YouTube. So it's Bert, B-U-R-T, Goldman, G-O-L-D-M-A-N. And Bert really taught everything metaphysical. He was my first real meditation teacher. And I really didn't even understand that it was meditation. They were simply guided journeys that he took me on, and it was amazing work. I like to welcome Carol. Hi, Carol. Oh, and here comes Mickey. Here comes Mickey. Everybody's running a little bit late today. The energies are super high today. It's a great day for manifesting and doing the work that we're here to do. So I was telling the people on Facebook that I put in the comments links where they could find different Bert Goldman meditations, but freely, many of them are on YouTube. So if you just Google, while you're in YouTube, Google Bert Goldman's name, and you should absolutely find many free things. And then if you care to move on, in the links, I gave 3 different links of where you could purchase downloadable material. Hi, Audrey.
Hello, sweetheart. I'm here too.
Hi, Mickey. Hi. Okay, so Mickey's not going to be, she's going to be on audio. Is that correct, Mickey?
On audio, yes.
Audio, okay.
You wouldn't even recognize me.
Okay, all right. That's okay. Mickey's, you're doing fine on audio. And I see Audrey is on Facebook. And if you're on Facebook, I can't see who's on unless you say hi and do something in the comments. So if you want me to, respond to anything, go ahead and do that. So I started telling the people different stories about Bert Goldman and how this is the meditation I'm going to do is his word for word. So I transcribed it, and I really want everybody to experience it the way he gave it.
But it was already plugged in when you started it, right?
Mm-hmm. All right. Are we talking to Mickey? You are giving us, oh, she muted herself. Okay, got it. Carol, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right.
Having a productive day.
Good. Glad to have that. So today's a day that we're going to work on manifesting and bringing in the things in our life that we want to have in our life. And there's different theories on that. You know, I was thinking about it earlier, and Seth said 2 different things. One of the things he said is you get what you concentrate on, or you get what you focus on. So, you know, you don't want to focus on the things that you don't want in your life, but focus on the good things. But then in another breath, he also said, he talked about framework 1 and framework 2. So framework 1 is where we live, and that's where things are physical. And framework 2 is where we put our ideas and thoughts into that framework, and then they manifest. So according to that theory, you put into framework 2 what you want to have materialize in your framework 1 world, and then you kind of walk into it eventually, you know, depending on how long or what it is. And Abraham, you know, says to put it out there and then forget about it and be happy where you are. And that's the main thing. It's like, be happy, be content, be good where you are. So during this full moon, and Mickey, when she gets her audio fixed, if she could talk to us a little bit about the astrology part of this. So there's all kinds of planets lined up, and this is a great time for manifesting because it's being heightened because of the stars. Carol, give me your thoughts about manifesting and the new moon.
Well, I believe in manifesting to a certain degree. I'm kind of in the third category you mentioned there, where I feel like you put it out there and then it comes in its own time. The same with questioning. If we have a question that we need answered, instead of seeking, we put it out there and we wait for the answer to come. So I'm kind of in that school of thought.
Mm-hmm.
And the new moon, of course, you know, I mean, it's a great time to focus and really nail down, in a sense, what it is that I want to manifest. So that's where I'm coming from.
Okay. And I think like when Seth talked about you get what you focus on, I believe he was trying to point out to people, and mind you, Seth spoke to Jane Roberts back in the 60s, 70s, and early 80s. So times were very different then. And I think that Seth was saying, don't focus on the negative, because you're just going to manifest more negative into your life. But do focus on happy things and joyful things and things that bring you happiness, contentment, and you know, that kind of work. So we definitely want to think about the things that we want to bring into our life. You know, for me, I'm pretty happy where I am right now. And the last 3 days, and I've been working with this energy. So the new moon, like it actually is at Eastern time here in New York. It will be at 2:09 a.m. So we are being pulled towards that really quickly. Now, when I do this meditation from Bert Goldman, he explains a little bit more, but the moon's energy at this point is drawing our thoughts and feelings and intentions and making them stronger. After that time, then it gets a little bit slower, it gets a little bit easier. And as we move towards the full moon is where things start to come into place. So everything is a cycle, and it draws towards the new moon, and then it pushes towards the full moon. And just like the tides, it works the same on us, because we're primarily water. So I love the moon too. The moon is a good reminder. So we know when it's the dark cycle, we want to put good intentions out there. And we know that when it's full, we know that a lot of releasing happens at that point, and cleansing happens during the full moon. So even if you don't have the metaphysical parts, you can remember those two pieces. Mickey sent a note to the group just saying, she says, hello all, sorry, I am not available tonight visually, but I am having an allergic reaction to something I ate, so I am off camera today. And she's LOL, love to you all. And I think she's having a hard time even with her mic right now. So Mickey's not on. Somebody else is on. Hold on. Let's see who's coming in. And it's Martin. Hi, Martin. We don't have any video for you. Well, of course, you're working on connecting. Oh, there you are. Hi, Martin. Martin must not hear us yet.
I hear you.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Hi, yeah. Martin.
Hi.
So Martin I got to know during the old Seth Talk days, and he was a regular on, as well as was Mickey and Audrey. Audrey is on Facebook today, and welcome, Martin. How are you?
Very good.
Good.
Busy night
So,
last night. I'm okay.
ah,
I'm
okay.
awake.
Well, we've been talking about manifesting and what the new moon means to us. And can you give us some thoughts? I know you just connected and you haven't heard anything that we said yet.
Yeah. Well, what the new moon means to me. It sounds to me like, I mean, it just is the idea of rebirth.
It is a time for renewing, and
Yeah.
yeah, definitely, and it is the time of birth too. So
Mhm.
in ancient times, and I did put this on the Facebook group, in ancient times women would gather, and quite often babies were born during this time. And it is the moon's pull on bodies as well. So it is rebirth, and whether we're rebirthing things that we want to manifest, or actual birthing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And anybody,
Hello.
Hi.
there's Mickey.
I've
Hi,
got the
Mickey.
sound on.
Okay,
Hello, Martin.
Hi, Mickey.
You healed my sound.
awesome. I'm so glad you're getting this caught on. And Mickey and I have been talking about this, and the astrology part of it. I am not an astrologer, and I don't understand much of that. And she was trying to explain it to me, how the planets worked, and how it's heightening the manifestation period during this particular new moon. So I'm glad she's there, because I feel like I'm floundering.
Well, I was thinking about something even simpler than what we were discussing the other night
Oh, I
with
would
the
love to hear it.
analogy of the house and the window and so forth, which I'll mention later. But as I sat here listening to you today, I realized if you consider a ball like a basketball, and you're standing in a spot on the ball, let's say you're standing down on the left side, right at the middle. As the moon starts out new, the sun and the moon are standing there together looking at the ball. They're on the ball talking. Now, as they're talking and days are passing, with each passing day, 1 week later, they're at the top of it. Only the moon is at the top. The sun stayed home. The moon has walked to the top. In another week, it has walked all the way down the other side, and it's now exactly in front of the sun through the ball. But, that line that stretches from each side of the ball to the other, that's where the moon is on the right and the sun is on the left still. Okay? Because the moon moves so fast. So therefore, you've got the new moon is when they're standing together talking, and the full moon is when the moon has gone all the way over the top to the other side. Okay? So they're talking the way we could as kids, where you're holding a can each with a cord in between.
I
But
remember.
if it's not stretched tight, then you can't hear anything. So that is another way of looking at it, to understand the difference of the new versus the full. That new is when they're standing together going, sharing their little secret agenda.
Okay.
And the sun says, you go on because you're faster. You get over there quick and I'll help you make it happen. And that's what happens. It took the moon 2 weeks to get to the other side. And he says, hey, I'm here. Let's do this. And that's it.
Okay. All right. So right now we have the basketball. We've come down, and we're like
across the
right
top. Across the top.
Okay. All right.
Okay, we're going across the top and we've reached the other side, and we're within a foot or more
Okay.
of making it exactly across.
Okay.
Okay, and at that moment, when it's exactly across, all those agendae that you had, everything you set up and said, I wish, I wish, or more knowledgeably, I know I deserve so and so, and I know I
Yes.
created such and such. That goes faster.
Hmm.
But at that moment, when that's an exact opposite to each other, it becomes so tight electronically. It's such a tight vibration between the two of them that whatever it is you whispered in the moon's ear, it says, right, I'll go out and get it, boss. I'll be right back. Okay, so it travels the underbelly now, slinking along, planting all the seeds you told it to have for you. And that as it gets closer and closer to the sun being new again, those seeds are getting going real well. They're manifesting, okay? Except where you didn't put it out right in the first place. When you told the moon what to do, you either didn't really believe it, someone had told you that's what you should say and you didn't agree, or you hadn't really seen it well yet. Okay? And that old magical thing about be very, very, very clear about what it is you want, the two schools of thought. You say, I wish I had a car, and then you shut up and go away. Or the one where you say, I wish I had a car and I want it to be red and I want it to have two seats and I want it to be such a brand. Two ways to approach that, but one will be more effective totally depends on what you believe you deserve or already have. You
Hmm.
see?
Hmm.
So, this is a very powerful thing to be playing with, and we need to make sure that we not only know exactly what we're asking for, and we need to also be aware that we were supposed to have it or we wouldn't have thought of asking for it in the first place.
Thank you, Mickey. That was a very good analogy. That was a lot easier than the building with the house and the rooms and all that. Yeah, that was much easier.
Well,
Thank
that was
you.
straight astrology that we were talking the other night. That was astrology 101 in 30 seconds.
Okay.
This was 10-second version.
Okay. All right. Now, I want everybody to also remember the wording in which you're going to do this in. You want to feel like you're going to ask for something, whatever it is, a new job or a new relationship or a new house, whatever it is you're asking for, whatever it is you want to manifest in your life, you want to, first of all, know that you are worthy of getting it. Absolutely. But you need to know that, feel that. And then you should put it out there as with a lot of gratitude that you already have it, because well, what we talk about is the future timeline. It is there, and you're going to eventually walk into it. So you want to know and feel that you're worthy of it, and that you are going to receive it, or that you've already received it. You're just not there yet. Okay.
Yes.
Any comments on that?
Carol, did you
Yeah,
motion that you want something?
I just have a scenario. I'll make it quick. When I was looking for a house, I was very good about describing exactly what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly enough, I mean, I knew I wanted a certain style. I knew I wanted a certain setting. I knew I wanted it close to this or that or something else. So I found the house, or so I thought. And I ended up in a bidding war for this house and then gave up on it. And lo and behold, another house that I now live in came. It was on the market then, but I never saw it listed anywhere. And this house came up, and it ended up being more perfect than the other house. So I in terms of all the things that I asked for, it had everything. And I just wonder about jumping at the wrong. How do we know when, we think, I don't know if anybody else has had this experience, but how do you know when you've really gotten what you asked for?
Because you're sitting in it now. It has become a continuing now. Okay? It's a sustained and continuing now that you created. And if you look at this, what you're saying is, I was so sure that I deserved it that I created more than one opportunity to enjoy it. So you had very strong belief, it was well founded, and you made more than you needed. So you actually created an opportunity for whoever that other person is that bought the other one. You see what I'm saying? You
I do.
provided for you and for someone else.
I would not have thought about it that way. Thank you.
Mm,
That's
pleasure.
a great way to think about it. Also, if you think about parallel lives,
Mm.
Carol did get that first house, and she's got a parallel life that is living very
Yeah,
happily in
there's
that other
another
house
Carol.
too.
Yes,
There,
yes.
absolutely.
Who is enjoying that house?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I
And
love that.
And had you gotten the first house, you would have stopped looking. So you wouldn't have actually seen this one. So you would
Right,
have known that the manifesting worked and that it came to fruition just like you
right,
had planned. And everybody noticed that Carol had to still get a mortgage and buy the house.
right,
It's not
right.
like it just poofed in her yard. When we manifest things, quite often we still have to do some work to attain it.
Well,
Whether
and
it
she
be,
had put it in there that I want such and such a house to be such and such a way, and I want it to drop in my lap.
yeah.
Okay, it's all about what we think we deserve.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I have experienced both ends of that lesson. I learned to understand why it wasn't the complete thing I asked for or had everything except these two things, et cetera, et cetera. It's all about what you believe.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I love that you were so sure that you deserved it, that you created more than you had to have. That's fantastic.
Mhm.
So thank yourself for that. That's another
Yeah.
thing about why we're talking about this now. Because in this now, you can complete the rest of the lesson that was there for you by saying, oh, yeah, I deserve even more thanks and credit to myself because there were other aspects of what I created that were positive and good for me, but I hadn't even noticed those yet. So now it's giving again. Okay? It's created that smile that's on your face right now. Okay, so you deserve the credit. You deserve the joy. You deserve every time you walk through one of the rooms in there, you should kind of click your heels mentally and go, ha ha, I did this.
Yeah.
Click
Okay,
your heels and
because you
say,
did.
I'm home,
Yeah.
I'm home, I'm
I'm
home.
home. Yeah, you made it. You did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and it
Now,
also tells you to do other things. Similarly.
nice.
Yeah.
Audrey on Facebook has said, be careful what you ask for. It may not be what you really want. So that is what
Hmm.
Mickey's saying about being very clear, especially in this week leading up to the new moon,
Mm-hmm.
because it's very strong now. So you want
Mm-hmm.
to be very clear with the things that you really do want. So don't use well, I don't want this in my life. I don't want that in my life. You want to say, I want peace. I want happiness. I want the joy. I want to find fun in my life. Those are the things that you want to be saying, especially in this particular week leading up to the new moon. Thank you, Audrey. Good point.
Hi, Audrey.
Hi, Audrey.
I invited Audrey on. She's a little shy. I'm hoping that she decides to pop herself on at some future date because we love her energy.
Okay.
She's
Yes.
awesome. She's just
Then
totally
Absolutely.
we're
awesome.
really complete. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We'll have
Yeah.
our old gang
Yeah.
back.
Kind of, yeah, absolutely. Oh, she said hi,
Yeah.
everybody.
Hi, Audrey. Oh,
Yeah.
love you. Love you, love you, love you.
All right. So, anything else that we want to add? Mickey touched a little bit on beliefs. So, that's a big part of it too. It's what you believe. and the fact that we can change our beliefs. We don't have to believe the same things that our parents did, or our teachers, or our, whoever fed us beliefs. We don't have to believe those. We can make our own beliefs. We're grown-ups now, and we can believe the things that feel right to us. If it doesn't feel right in your gut, in your solar plexus area, then it's probably not a belief that's good for you. So change that belief. Believe we are important, we are powerful, we are deserving of good things in our life.
I'd like to add something.
Okay.
That before I had to learn to add a phrase to what I believe, and that was when I'd ask for something, was that even though I may run into a good bit of opposition from others in my environment, my family, or whatever, I have to remind myself, I have to remember that even though they are against it, it's because they don't realize yet how much it will help all of us. Okay? When they see me happier, more well adjusted, more able to give of myself to them more efficiently, then everyone will be a lot happier about what I'm doing because they'll understand it better.
Very
And that
true.
cuts a little bit of that BS you hear on the sidelines from the peanut gallery. You learn to ignore it a little easier. It's not going to go away, but you do learn to find ways around all this avalanche of negative stuff. Why would you think you could do so and so and so? Why do you think you should have such and such? I've been working 75 years and I don't have it. Well, that was what you programmed in this life for yourself. It has nothing to do with what I should or can attain.
Beautiful.
Hard truths. Yeah.
We've all run the gamut learning, and we practice this stuff, and we learn through experimenting, and a lot of times we learn through failure, and it's time in our life that we now have successes. Martin.
Yes.
Yes. What would you like to say?
Well, it was interesting about choosing beliefs, because I used to do that regularly when I was a kid. I mean, I would look at different religious beliefs that, the different, not just denominations, but different religions. And I would just randomly, from time to time, just adopt a whole new set of beliefs. I mean, as if I actually believed it. And the reason why I did that is I wanted to see what it was like to, what believing one way would be like compared to believing another way. And it really worked for me. And I kind of settle on some things. It's kind of, oops, sorry. Where did I go?
You're back.
Oh, here
We
I am.
can
I'm
see
back.
you. Yep.
Okay. I hit something on my phone. Okay. But now my beliefs are really all over everywhere. I mean, it's just not any one religion, and it's not all in one religion or in all of them. I mean, there's beliefs that I have that are like one religion, and then there are other beliefs that I have like another religion. It's like it's not like syncretistic where I'm trying to combine it all into one religion. It's just that I ended up believing things from all over. Yeah, that's what it was. And as I grew up, I ended up finding myself with ideas that were like Hinduism, and ideas that were like Judaism, ideas that were like Christianity, and not like I accept everything in any of those religions, but just certain things that appeal to me that are part of my worldview now.
Beautiful.
And it isn't any one religion; it's like from each one. Yeah.
Well, and I guess that's what I really meant by, if it doesn't feel right, then it's probably not right for you. But that doesn't mean it's
Yeah.
not right for other people or somebody else.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
always look at beliefs are very individual, and what is, good for me may not be good for someone else. And I would never push my beliefs on anyone else. I try to give a
Right.
lot of options, and that sounds like what you've done. You've given options to yourself, and you've picked the best
Yep.
that feels the best to you. And you did this as a child. You are a very gifted child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a very unusual child from what I was told.
Yeah.
I was told that quite a bit.
And now you're a very gifted man. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's new with
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it never bothered me. Yeah.
so many of us have that gift as a child to believe, and then we outgrow it. You never outgrew it. You took it to
I
heart.
still do it.
And yeah, exactly. Whereas
when somebody comes to me, like if a preacher on the street comes up to me and starts sharing his beliefs, I don't actually get into an argument with him. I kind of adopt those beliefs at the moment that I'm talking with him, as authentically as I can, not pretensively. I mean, I try to see it from his perspective or her perspective, I guess I'm saying, and not make believe, but really, really hold it that way. And I might not walk away with those beliefs, but at the time that I'm with him, I'm sharing them. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way to do it.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And I, especially because I had the Healing and Learning Center, I used to get people like that walked in my door, and they, of course, didn't like my beliefs. And they would try to change my beliefs.
Yeah.
And, I was always very respectful to them. They are their beliefs, and they're important to them. And I respected that very much. But, please don't push them on me. I would be open to listening as well, but adopting them would be a whole nother story.
Yeah.
As you all know here, I grew up Catholic, so I consider myself a recovering Catholic. And I never, there were certain parts of that religion that, I went to Catholic high school even, that I used to ask my theology teachers, and nobody could answer them. So I would get, well, it's just faith. So those things that didn't sit well with me and felt wrong, I just stopped believing them. Yeah. So yeah, but that happened way later in my much older years.
One of my favorite religions is Catholicism. Ended up being.
Well, there's a lot to it.
But yeah, there's a lot that's extremely beautiful about it. Yeah, it's just like wow.
Yeah, the ceremony
I love the whole Mary concept. I love everything about Mary. It's like wonderful. To me, that's like the glory of Catholicism is Mary.
Nice. Audrey says same for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. She also thinks Carol's kitty is very pretty. So we have a fifth person on. Look at her. She's looking right in the camera at us.
Yeah.
Yep.
The typical photo bomber.
I see that.
She knows she's being
The minute I get on,
yeah.
this is where she is.
Oh,
she doesn't
okay.
sit on my lap the other time.
Well, she's fine. She's being very quiet, and she's being very nice and respectful.
Yeah.
Sometimes they understand what we're saying.
Probably does.
A lot more than we realize.
Yeah. And sometimes more than we do.
Yeah.
And quite often we can learn a lot about beliefs by animals because they believe in nature. They believe in what they see, feel around them. They can, quite often, I had a little dog that I swear he could see ghosts.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So.
Well, it's also that they see such a wider bandwidth than we do.
They do, and they believe what they see.
Surprising. Yeah, they are probably more things happening within our dimension than we're aware of because we're not open to the things visible within that bandwidth.
Absolutely.
And yet they are, who knows if they're seeing infrared and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
We don't.
They're far more open to healing.
Yes.
They accept Reiki and other forms of healing because they don't have any belief system that it may not work. They just
Mm,
they feel the energy and they go with it.
Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
A
Yeah.
healthy respect for what they're aware of in it. Yeah, it's like, can't you see that? Well, no, we can't, but you can.
Really need you all to do is relax. Just get in a comfortable place. Just sit back, close your eyes, and just turn yourself over to the sound of my voice. Okay? Now we're going to start with the 3 to 1 count. And at this time, just relax. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, take a deep breath. And as you exhale, mentally repeat and visualize the number 3 times. Take another deep breath. And as you exhale, mentally repeat and visualize the number 2 3 times. Take another deep breath. And as you exhale, mentally repeat and visualize the number 1 3 times. To help you to enter a deeper, a more relaxed level of mind, I'm going to count from 10 to 1. On each descending number, feel yourself going inward, and you will enter a pleasant, a relaxed level of mind where you will be able to concentrate fully on one subject. 10, 9, feel going deeper. 8, 7, 6, feel going deeper and deeper. 5, 4, 3, deeper and deeper. 2, 1. You are now at a pleasant, a relaxed level of mind where you are able to concentrate fully on one subject. At this time, concentrate on my words. You are now and always in complete control of your state of mind. You can open your eyes. You can be fully alert anytime you wish to be. Every time you enter this relaxed meditation state, know that you are getting better and better in every way. Whenever you enter this relaxed meditation state, you will mentally say, in every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. When you say these words, sense yourself improving in all areas of your life. Sense yourself getting better and better. Visualize improvements in your life now as you mentally repeat the words. Every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. Relax. Relax now and direct your attention now to your eyes. Relax your eyes. Now direct your attention to your lips and your jaw. Relax your lips and jaw. Relax your entire head. And relax your neck. That's fine. Now relax your shoulders. Relax your arms and your hands. Relax the upper part of your body, your chest and your back. And now your stomach and the small of your back. Relax your thighs. Relax your legs and your feet. You are now completely relaxed. Mentally repeat, my body rests and refreshes itself when I consciously relax. I am relaxed now. Repeat mentally after me. Every day, my image of myself gets better. I can do anything I have a desire to do. I am a wonderful, unique human being. There is no one on earth exactly like me. Every day I grow stronger knowing I can. I can think. I can create. I can do. I can do anything I have a desire to do. Now relax. Imagine now that you're sitting and there is a white velvet curtain in front of you. Next to you is a box filled with black numbers. The numbers are from 1 to 10. And in a moment, you will reach into the box and remove a number. The number that you reach for will be in sequence. You don't have to be concerned. At first, when you reach into the box, your hand will pull out number 10. And then you will take the number 10 and lay it on the white velvet curtain. And the number will stick. And then you will reach into the box and take out the number 9 and put it on the curtain. And that number will also stick to the curtain. And then the number 8, and so on, until you have taken each of the 10 numbers out of the box and placed them on the velvet curtain in front of you. The numbers are made so that they will stick on the velvet curtain. Now then, take the black numbers out of the box one at a time and hang them on the white velvet curtain, starting with the number 10 and continue until you reach the number 1. Begin. If you have not yet reached the number 1, imagine that all 10 numbers are on the velvet curtain. Relax. And now, remove the numbers one at a time, starting with the number 10. Reach up to the number 10, take it off the curtain, and put it back in the box. Now the number 9. Now the number 8. Now the number 7. Put it back in the box. Now the number 6. Now the number 5. Now the number 4. Now the number 3. Now the number 2. And there is one number left on the curtain. Now reach up and take the number 1 and put that in the box. Now allow the velvet curtain and the box to disappear from the scene. Very good. You are now in a deeper, more concentrated level of mind. And now, as I use the mantra Om, you mentally will follow along with me, or you can Om with me out loud. Each Om will take you deeper into the meditation, and you'll be more concentrated so that the programming you are doing will be more successful. Relax. Just follow along with me mentally or out loud. Om. 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 Relax. Imagine now the moon. Visualize the great moon that is between the earth and the sun. Imagine the pull of the moon. Imagine the tides of the ocean driving the water higher as the new moon's gravitational pull attracts. This pull will enhance all of your programming, especially that program that we will now be doing. Think about the program. Think about what you want to come to be, what it is that you would like to attract or perhaps repel. Think about that now and relax. Just relax. And for this new moon meditation, we will use a standard programming device to enable you to saturate the universe with your thoughts. You needn't consider the moon at this time because you are in the meditation close to the height of the new moon, and your program's energy will float from your mind and saturate the universe automatically. Relax and imagine you are standing in a hallway, a small hallway with a door at the opposite end of where you are standing. Create the door. Make it ornate. On the other side of that door is your heart's desire, the thing that you are programming for. What is it that you desire? What is it that you would like to manifest? Think about that thing that you would like to achieve, to attract, again, to have. In a moment, I will count from 1 to 3, and you will walk through the door, and you will see a scene. Some action will be taking place. You will be part of the action. You will observe the scene as though it were a play, as you are the director of that event, as well as the observer. You can watch it as it unfolds. What you create on the other side of that door is what you are programming for. You will see the goal as already accomplished, and you are happy with the result. I will now count. 1, 2, 3. The door is opening. The door is open. Imagine it. Now walk through the door and imagine the end result of your goal accomplished. Take your time. I will give you plenty of time. Relax and begin. Visualize your goal accomplished, and I will give you plenty of time. Relax. Now imagine the moon, but this time it will be the full moon. Imagine the reflected light of the full moon brightening the entire scene. The entire scene is bathed in the light of the full moon. Allow the light of the full moon to permeate the entire scene. And now back into the hallway and allow the door to close. The door is closed. Imagine that. Whenever you think of the thing that you're programming for, think of it as already accomplished. Every morning, when you think of your goal, repeat the phrase, every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. You may program for your goal at any time, but do be sure to program during every new moon. Relax. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And at that moment, you will open your eyes. You will be wide awake, feeling wonderfully refreshed, feeling better than before. 1, 2, 3, coming out slowly. 4 and 5. Eyes open, wide awake, feeling relaxed and comfortable, feeling better than before. Whew,
Oh,
that was kind of powerful.
it really was. I enjoyed that.
So I was quiet for 4 minutes. I think it was 4 minutes. I actually was kind of deep in that myself. How does everybody feel?
Empowered, not necessarily energized, quote unquote, which indicates a state of excitement. It's
Yeah,
just feeling a fulfillment that I've done that I've released it, let it fly.
beautiful. Nice. Thank you, Mickey.
Thank you. I always enjoy the meditation. It's my
Yeah.
favorite part.
Uh, I feel kind of groggy actually, not energized either. Yeah, it was deep. It was deep.
Yeah, we sent a lot of energy outward,
Mhm,
out,
mhm.
which is of course inward as well, but what we call outward.
Right, right. I love the way Bert enhances everything with the light of the full moon at the
Right.
end. Yeah,
That's the good part. Yeah.
yeah.
This was nice. Very nice.
Thank you, Mickey. And Audrey, if you have anything that you want to say, go ahead and type it and I will read it. I don't know if anyone else is on. Audrey is the only one that's been putting any comments in. So please, if anyone listening has any comments, even if you're listening to the replay, go ahead and put comments on there. I will keep watching them. And, if you have any questions, I will try to do my best. Oh, Audrey said she needed that. I'm so happy. I'm glad. I'm glad that we can do this as a service to everybody.
It was wonderful. Yeah. And very needed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
I feel
time.
happier.
Happier?
Yeah,
Good.
me feel happier.
That's wonderful. I mean, that's what we all need to be, is happy. Oh, so my friend Colleen just got on. She said she got in late, but she enjoyed the meditation. Thank you, Colleen, for joining.
Yeah. Good. That's great. That was a
So,
good one.
so Carol, you feel happier. Do you feel like the manifesting was clear for you?
Yeah, very clear. It
Good.
was, it it felt like a happening that I was there. I was part of it. I mean, it was in first person for me. So yeah.
Wonderful. Bert has a way of, his words are magical, you know, and these were his words. I read this from a script. I can't make up anything as good as him. He was an amazing teacher.
Yeah.
Martin, how do you feel? Oh, you're muted, Martin. Let's see what we can do here. Well, while Martin's unmuting, Colleen said it helped her stop coughing. That's so funny because right before we started, I was coughing. I had to mute myself. So
I
I'm
think I'm
glad
back.
that helped. Oh, there you go. There you are,
Yeah.
Martin.
I think I figured it out. Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, I'd say I feel very refreshed.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It always does that. Meditation always does that for me when I come back out. It's just like, it's a new mental state that I wasn't in before.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful way to think about that. Yeah. Like a reset button.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Yep.
Very nice. Thank you. Well, I will be so wondering when people's things actually come to fruition and manifest in your lives. So it looks very positive. Gosh, we've been on for exactly 1 hour.
Wow.
2:31 right now. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know how long that meditation asked. Mickey asked me that. She goes, how long is it? And I'm like, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes, I guess. That's all. It
Only
felt
seemed
like
it was about a few minutes, like 4 minutes, 5 minutes, maybe. Yeah.
well, it was
long.
4 minutes of just being quiet when you guys were running through your scenes. Yeah. Nice. Well, I
Didn't
hope
take
this
long,
works for everybody, and you know, you can replay this. It will show up as a replay on Facebook. I don't know, within about 5 minutes, I guess, toward when I end it. Any closing notes?
I actually
Peace.
went out. I love it when that happens.
Yeah, you do that all the time,
I
Martin.
went completely out.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love
It is a
it.
great feeling too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, these are nice. These are nice to do, especially
Yeah.
before like going to sleep. Like I like to do them that way, and then sometimes you even fall asleep during them, and I feel like it just continues. Now the next full moon is in 2 weeks, and it happens to fall on a Tuesday. So I don't exactly know how I'm going to work that. It's just been interesting that the last 3 moons happened on a Sunday. So I was able to do them, or close to it anyway, and I was able to do it on a weekend. But this next full moon, I probably will do on a Tuesday on the full moon day. So I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do. We'll chit chat with that. And if anybody has anything they would like to, you know, comment on, you know, I'll certainly take that into consideration. I might just do a meditation and put it up for people, and then they can do it at their convenience. That works.
Different people are telling her that.
Yeah. Any comments, Miss Nikki?
I beg your pardon?
Any comments on the next for the new moon? It's a Tuesday.
I will draw together a few things to release as posts because it'll be very interesting to see how we came into this new awareness space from what manifests. What did we create? As we look at it close to the new moon, we will not only be thinking about what we want to project next, but we'll be reevaluating how well we did this time.
Right.
So
And
that
for the
tells
new
us a
moon,
little.
and we'll also be releasing things that have not
But
worked.
we'll have either a new agenda or a much better adjusted agenda that we were trying to work with this time. You see what I mean? so we
Yeah.
can learn more and more about how to manifest efficiently by
With
examining.
each one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, with each one, we can get better and better, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so I am interested, before we start to say what the next one will be about, let's take a look at what happened and see what should it be about,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can
Okay.
tweak. Even if we tweak one small aspect of it each time, then that gives you 13 times during a year to get it right.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. You know, when I talk about manifesting, the building that I'm actually sitting in right now,
Yeah.
for 7 years, I drove by it every day and I imagined what each room would look like. And it was
Oh,
for sale for
mhm.
that long, and I couldn't afford it. And at the end of those 7 years, I drove past it and the for sale sign was gone. And there was a for sale sign by owner and a rental sign. So I called thinking I could afford to rent it.
Mhm.
He had dropped the price to where I could afford it.
Oh,
So it took me 7 years and of imagining what this building was going to be like when I owned it.
right.
And now I live here. So,
Oh, wow.
you know, I guess I can be a very patient person at times, and at other times I want things to hurry up. But you know, just in a month's time or 2 weeks month time, we may not see what we have set in place today,
Hmm.
but when it happens, you will know it.
Yeah. I'm really excited about the options,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
fine tunes that go with this particular path. This is
Hmm.
a good way to
and
look.
and I think using the tools that we have now, which I didn't have back then, the tools that we have now of the moon and the different beliefs, it's making manifesting faster and more
Yeah.
efficient. So
Yeah.
yes, if we really recognize that with each passing moon, it should get more and more efficient.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. I love this. It was great.
Nice.
Very well.
Well, I thank Audrey and Colleen for joining us on Facebook. And, you know, I'm grateful for everybody that will see this on Facebook in the future. And, you know, please do put notes on here as, you know, I love hearing, you know, am I doing what people are happy? Should I change things? What is it that people need? Colleen just said, thank you. I'm going to listen again later. And she just loves the meditation. Audrey said, love you guys with a big heart. We
Love
love
you
you
too,
guys
Audrey.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, we love you.
And I thank you guys for joining me. Like when I'm here alone, it feels like I'm like lecturing. I like speaking with you guys. So
Yeah,
thank you very much for the support.
Thank
it's
you.
nice. Oh, it's so good to have everybody back.
It
It
But
is.
is. It is. And I think I would like to do some just free talking about, you know, whatever, you know, not just moon stuff. This was just my beginning.
Yeah.
right.
Gave me some place to start, but I just love talking anything metaphysical, you know, love
I
it.
do.
Yeah. I know me and Mickey and me and Carol, we talk about metaphysical stuff like daily.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's
Oh,
and
Maybe
it's time the world shares in, you know, what we talk about and what our knowledge is.
yeah, we share our woo woo.
We do. I love woo woo, you know, and look at how many years of knowledge we have combined, you know.
That's true.
It truly is amazing. Yeah. So I didn't say this yet, but I'm going to say it now. Mickey took classes from Bert Goldman in person when she lived in New York City.
Oh, wow.
So that is one of the connections that Mickey and I made the maybe first or second time that we saw each other on
Right.
Facebook.
Right.
I did a
That's
meditation, and you know it's a Bert Goldman meditation when he does the 3-to-1 count. That is signature.
yeah.
And as soon as I did that, Mickey recognized that it was his meditation.
It is astounding that the cycle opened back in 1978 or 79 with Bert and studied until 80, 81. And then here it is 50 years later.
Yeah, it was
And I
2020.
am now doing this again with someone else who loves him like I did. And he was astounded. So it's interesting to see the cycle close
Yes.
because they don't really close. They passed the point where they began and became completed, but it's the new one that begins. So what happens is it's actually a spiral.
Yes.
You think about it.
Yeah.
You're walking around a spring.
And
you know?
and and when I think about Bert, so I guess I ran into him maybe 15 years ago. So
Uh-huh.
he it was much later than Mickey. And he was just, he just I just loved what he said. I bought all his CDs, so I have them, and I do them daily. And the quantum jumping that he does, it really does work.
Yes.
And he passed away in 2020, and 2020 is when Mickey and I met.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
it
But
was.
if he's here, it really, the first time we did it together, one of his meditations, it was eerie because it had this video attached to it where we could see him. And for me, it was like suddenly I zoomed back in time fast and was sitting in that center where I was taking the Jose Silva classes, and Bert had come in as a part of that. And
Yeah.
it was just an amazing thing to latch into. New York was taken by storm when he hit it, and everybody was impressed with him and what it meant to the whole idea of being able to manipulate your now and your future. So it's
And your past.
and your past. I was sitting here thinking, do I add that? Do I add that?
Absolutely.
But they understand
Yeah,
you can actually manipulate the past, but that's a whole other thing. Believe me.
it is. It is.
We're
But
trying to get better at the now and the
yeah,
future first.
yeah,
It's more important. But this is certainly a nice, massive leap on that agenda.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
I am too. And he had I could probably listen to Bert Goldman for 3 days nonstop. I have that many meditations by him.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
probably more than that. Yeah.
very exciting.
Yeah. Well, I am more than happy to share them. And I do, if people enjoyed this type of meditation, on YouTube, he has a meditation called the Daisy Pond.
Right.
It is a healing meditation. Bert always made that available totally free for anyone to share. So it is on YouTube, and it's a beautiful meditation. So The Daisy Pond by Bert Goldman, and you will find more stuff by him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so effective.
He
It was
he is. And he was a writer. He wrote many books. He
yes,
wrote the book Better and Better.
right.
I say that every day. I say that every day in every way. I am getting better and better.
Yeah. That's from a QA, I think, meditation. COUE, a French
Well, so the name was
accent over the
Dr.
E.
Coué. Yes,
QA, yes.
Coué. Yeah,
And
and
Bert just
he
zoomed him along, didn't he?
he did. He was French. He was from, I think he was from Nancy, France,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a psychologist
Yes.
and a doctor. And he actually, Emile Coué, that was his whole name.
Emile Coué, that's it.
Yep. And he would say that he told a story about a lady, and he changed it up for her. She said, I want to meet the love of my life. And he said, well, my dear, he says, just say every day, the love of my life is getting closer and closer. And she did that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
she ended up finding the love of her life. And this woman showed up in one of Bert Goldman's class and told that story.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
that
so-
the reason I know that story is because he told the story on one of his meditations. So he would always do like a 15 or 20-minute teaching of whatever it was, then he would do a meditation.
Well, my late husband and I love to tell the story of how we met because that's what we did. I put it out there and wrote it on little slips of paper and did a whole little meditation about what I deserved. And I wrote down a list of exactly what I deserved. And 22 days later, which was my spiritual path number, but 22 days later, I met him. And we enjoyed the last 2 decades before he left. So
Beautiful.
it's me, I'm devoted to Bert and to Jose Silva and to all of those who brought in the quote new age. It's the idea that we have power. It's the idea that we recognize our spiritual power. It's not new. Okay. And for many people who are in more traditional religions, even Jesus said right after he'd do a miracle, he'd say, but I'm not doing anything you can't do.
Right.
True.
We
Yeah.
choose to ignore that, but the truth is, he did tell us that.
Yeah.
So we need to take the responsibility for that.
He said we would be able to do even greater things than he did.
He
Exactly.
did. He
Yeah.
did. He did say that.
Yeah.
That's in the Gospel of Thomas.
Yeah.
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 And that was
He
one of the
said
first
when
things
you
he scratched out.
he said when you believe mountains can move, the
Right.
mountains will
They will
move.
move. And that's one of the first
Yeah.
books that got pulled out of the Bible before it was
That's
given.
no big surprise.
We don't want you to know you can do that. Let's just
Right.
come here. Pray to me. Anna. Give me
Yeah.
10% of what you're making, and I'm going to show you how to make a lot more.
Yeah.
He even still says it in the book of John in the Standard
Yeah.
Bible.
Yeah.
Greater works, he says you'll do. And they can't get around that because it's bold. He says it right there. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Exactly. And he had all that other strange stuff that was happening, So there were lots of visions and lots of things going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the
the
truth
earliest
is coming out. The truth of all the stuff hidden is beginning to come out. So I love it.
the earliest Christian Bible I heard is the Ethiopian Bible. It has 80 some books.
Mm-hmm.
That gives you some idea of what got removed.
Yeah, hello.
A lot of stuff was taken
Wow.
out. Yeah.
I did not know that.
And it's
Yeah.
still in use. It's still the
I've heard that.
Ethiopian Orthodox Church still has that Bible.
Right.
Yeah, they still use it.
Wow.
Well, it's also said that, you see, there was more than one ark. People talk about the ark was hidden in Jerusalem, blah, blah, blah. If only they could find it. Did the Templars find it? And, there's loads and loads of talk about all of that. But you very seldom hear anyone mention it. Well, that's not the only ark. It's
Right.
like saying these priests over here had a couple of candlesticks. They would always light them every Sunday. But those are not the only priests who were lighting candlesticks. So if you take the original ones from that place, you have not removed candlesticks as an item from the religion. There are plenty of other people that had candlesticks. So it is said that there is a very well guarded place in Ethiopia that does have another copy of the Ark.
Yeah.
And it's guarded 24/7.
Yeah.
So there are many things under the sun.
Yeah.
Mysteries.
All things will be revealed.
Yes, they will. And I think part of the road to that is for us to accept the responsibility for whatever we learn by traveling that road.
That Edgar Casey says that the Stonehenge was originally, in its original form at one point, was a Jewish temple.
Really?
So there was an Ark of the Covenant there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had not heard that.
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
That's very
Interesting.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
it's a gateway of sorts, just
Yeah.
like the pyramids were. They were
Mhm.
definitely communication devices, and who knows how much communication and on how many levels. Was it locomotive or what? Just what were they doing? But they were sending and receiving something.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
Well, I think they say both of those places are actually a chakra point of the earth.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Easter
Mm-hmm.
Island,
Yes.
there's a few others, but I think definitely the pyramids and
Mhm.
Stonehenge.
Well, the Easter Island story is very hilarious too, because all these generations that I grew up hearing about it and seeing those famous heads,
Hmm.
and people talking about the heads, the heads, the heads, and now they've had scientists dig down below it and discover it's a whole body. It's not a head.
Yep.
It's a
Oh
Yep.
whole
my God,
statue.
I did not know
Yeah.
that either.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's some 40 or 50 yards or meters high,
Wow.
and they're
And
complete statues.
the amount of time they say it would take for that soil to build up like that indicates
Yes,
that some of those statues are tens of thousands of years old.
right,
Yeah. Yeah.
right. Because they're up to their
Yeah.
necks
Go
in
way back.
accumulated sand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So kind
Yeah,
of like the Sphinx. Just
exactly like this.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they are only now admitting that the Sphinx is 5 or 6 thousand years older than they allowed it before. So that
Yep.
makes
Maybe even a
Right.
little older than that.
yes,
I I
exactly.
Yeah.
I was just sitting between the Sphinx's paws in
Oh wow.
a month, a little more than a month ago. I think I was there on December 29th.
Ah,
And the energy there is extremely masculine and very, very heavy. But it's really strong.
yes, and
Yeah.
very old. Yes,
Yes, very. And it feels older than so many of the other places that I went
yes,
Mhm.
there. Like the energy of the Sphinx as opposed to the energy of even the pyramid, the Great
yes,
Pyramid. I went to the Great Pyramid and went to the King's Chamber and the Queen's Chamber,
Mm.
and the energy of the Sphinx felt so much more ancient.
yes. I agree.
Yeah.
Mm.
I agree, and I haven't even been there, but it's interesting to hear you pick up on that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there wasn't even like I was
It
telling people about it and I'm like, "Oh my God, I didn't even take my camera out to take a picture of this particular thing or that particular thing because it was just a lot to take in. The
Right.
energies were just huge on the body."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. I'm just so
Yeah.
pleased that you got a chance to do that.
Oh, me too.
Wow.
Trip of a lifetime for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
So nice.
anybody that wants to see, I have plenty of pictures that I did take, and other people took pictures. So we kind of shared. So
Well, that's
yeah.
nice, and I look forward to that. I
Oh,
really do.
that barking dog is Lydia, and she's my buddy. No, Carol.
Oh,
Looks like Carol's
that's
signing off
cute.
because Lydia is acting up.
Well, it was nice to see you, Carol. Good
Yeah.
night. Uh-huh.
Carol and I and
Nice to
Lydia
meet you.
walk a
Yeah.
lot. We
Oh,
probably walk 2 to 3 miles almost every day.
oh, that's
When
wonderful.
the
Wow.
weather is nice. Carol goes out
Mhm.
every day because she has Lydia. I go out when it's comfortable for me. I'm kind of a baby.
Mhm.
So
Well, this was absolutely wonderful. I thank
thank you,
you and everyone
everybody.
else as well. Thank
Thank
you.
you, thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
Oh,
Colleen and Audrey, and
oh,
anyone else that watches this. And stay tuned. We'll be back at least in 2 weeks. Okay?
okay. All
Okay.
right.
Bye
Good night.
bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.